Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sunday morning post shower slicked back edition of This Day in History. There's so much cool stuff that happened today, and some really cool birthdays as well. So let's kick it off with some things that happened on this day in history. Today is May 29th. Number one, Constantinople falls to Mehmed II, ending the Byzantine Empire. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, well, that was such a long time ago, really no impact. This had such an impact on our world today. The Ottoman Empire, which essentially ended the Byzantine Empire, renamed Constantinople Istanbul, and really cut off the trading route for Europeans headed to Asia. Now, if you take a look at a map, you'll notice that Constantinople or Istanbul is really an important city because it's kind of the gateway into the Black Sea. That was the way Europeans, they could go from the Mediterranean through Constantinople into the Black Sea and thus into Asia, and they could trade and they could get their silk and their spices or whatever they were going after. Once Mehmed II and the Ottomans conquered Constantinople, it ended that route. It ended that access into the Black Sea for Europeans. Thus, they had to find a different way to Asia to find all of those goods that they were trading. Starts off with the Portuguese, starting going around Western African coast, all the way around the southern tip of Africa into the Indian Ocean. And later, just, less than 40 years later, would lead one young Christopher Columbus to decide to go west. So it really did have an impact on our world today, even here in America, even though that happened in 1453. So just wanted to share that little bit of knowledge with you. Excuse me. In 1911, the Indianapolis 500 was run for the first time. Believe it's going to be run today, I do believe. Again, this is Memorial Day weekend, so there we go. One thing that I've always been interested in, but hey, I'm a baseball nerd here. 1922, in the Supreme Court case Federal Club v. National League, the Supreme Court ruled that Major League Baseball, or essentially the National League, was not subject to antitrust laws. It is the only major sport that is not subject to antitrust laws. And it's been reaffirmed twice by the Supreme Court. Once in Toulson v. New York and once in Flood v. Kuhn. Now, this is something that even the Supreme Court has recognized that they are interacting in interstate commerce, yet they still have not subjected them to antitrust laws. 1953, Edmund, Hillary, and Tenzing Norgay become the first men to reach the top of Mount Everest. Did a little research here, thought it was interesting. About 4,000 people have summited since. And the death rate is about 14.1% of all that try. Not the deadliest mountain, okay, but still one of the top. 1974, President Richard Nixon, I am not a crook, but you're kind of a crook, agreed to turn over 1,200 pages of edited Watergate transcripts. Just a few months later here in August, he's going to resign in 1974. Really dumb what he did. We'll probably do an episode of that later on. Birthdays, some great birthdays today. One, Bob Hope, born in 1903, one of the greatest comedians and actors of our time. Actually died in 2003 at the age of 100. It's quite the life. In 1917, future 35th President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, is born. And very ironically, in 1955, John Hinckley Jr. is born, the same day as JFK. Now, why is that ironic? JFK was assassinated. John Hinckley Jr. tried to assassinate President Reagan. So I looked up Hinckley to kind of get a little, where is he now type thing. And let's do a little bit of background here. 2 months after Reagan was inaugurated, Hinckley shoots him as he's coming out of a Washington, D.C. hotel. Now, he shot, I'm going to get the correct numbers here, 3 were injured, 1 was killed. That was James Brady, who was, at the time, the press secretary. He died later on of his wounds. Now, he was found not guilty due to reason of, couldn't stand trial. I'm not sure of the actual verdict. But yeah, not guilty on all accounts due to reasons of insanity. Now, here's the kicker. He's been released. He was released in 2016. He actually has his own YouTube channel somewhere here, I guess, where he's playing music and whatnot. So I'm going to go look that up later today. But not only was he released in 2016, but I'm looking at, and I'll have to verify how accurate this is, but it says his restrictions are scheduled to be unconditionally released in June 2022. That's like a couple days from now. So, one of the first to use, the insanity plea. He gets, spent years in a hospital, I guess, so to speak. I don't want to say insane asylum, but, he was in a hospital for years and receiving treatment, and was released in 2016. And now, sounds like here in a couple of days, everything will be completely done, and he'll be, like nothing ever happened. But John Hinckley Jr. And take a look. One of the reasons why he did it, he was obsessed with Jodie Foster and wanted to impress her. That's I'm, a lot of men want to impress women, but I don't think you go about it by trying to assassinate somebody. But anyway, it is Sunday, May 29th. It is Memorial Day weekend, guys. Be safe out there. Have a great weekend. Love y'all, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.